Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the latest house price data. Last week, we had the nationwide data. This week, we've got the Halifax data. And it's interesting to see different perspectives from different lenders and different data sources to see what they're experiencing even in the market. Now, this also will go into a little more detail on what's happening in different regions because it varies wildly, all the different regions of the United Kingdom at the moment. You've got some areas that just pretty much aren't growing. In fact, I'd say that they're down if you take into account for inflation. But some areas are absolutely crushing it with house price growth at the moment. So we're going to talk about those areas as well. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done before, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 44,000 subscribers. And by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, interest rate news, property investment news, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video. How do we do that? Simple. Smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that's helped the channel grow to where we are today. So thank you to everyone that takes a moment to do that. So what's going on? Well, different people are seeing different outcomes in house price data at the moment. So every month we give you the data from the nationwide. They always go first in the first few days of the month. We also get the Rightmove asking price data. That's important because that indicates to me market sentiment. So we'll get that in the next few days. And if we start seeing lots of people going into the market, undercutting houses that are already there, that shows that they're desperate or they need to sell. And that could move the market down quite quickly. So we want to keep an eye on that. We've got the ONS data, the Office of National Statistics. The last time we had data on that, they said between March and April, just in a month, house prices were down 2.8% due to the stamp duty. So this time we're talking about Halifax and their data. And I always say this every time we do these videos. I think it's important to understand that these guys have data that we can't get access to. So for example, they know right now the deals that are sitting on their desk. They know the deals that are agreed in principle and the impact that's going to have on house prices in the next few months. And so when they do their little roundup and they tell us what their expectations are, I think it's important to listen. And so they're saying this month that the market is pretty much flat. In fact, it is down, but it's such a small amount that it's down. They're saying it's a flat market. So this is what they're saying. They're saying last month, the average house price was 296,782. And this month that has dropped to 296,665. So barely any movement, a few £100. And if you're buying a property, you can easily negotiate that kind of discount, if not more, in this market. I still think, even though we've got more buyers coming into the market, because we talked about last week, you've got more mortgage approvals are up at the moment, meaning there's an influx of buyers. I still think it's a buyer's market at the moment because things are a little slower. And how does this, so they're saying this month that it's flat. Last month, it was down with the Halifax data. Not a lot, but 0.4%. That was May's data that they had there. So what about on an annual basis? What are we looking like there? Well, it's still up, but it's dropping. So 2.5% up on an annual basis, but that was over 4% at one stage. So house prices annually are dropping. And if you look at the inflation data, look, really, that means that it's a totally flat year. That's good for a lot of people because two reasons. One, the actual value of the properties hasn't massively gone down for a lot of people. That means there's going to be less people in negative equity. But also if we have a flat year, hopefully people get pay rises. Also, the interest rates have gone down, and that means affordability, while hasn't improved a great deal, has improved a little bit, and that will help people for sure. So what are we talking about on a regional basis? So they are saying the southwest is not very strong. We've talked about that in the last few days, actually. A lot of people are trying to leave the southwest at the moment because there's extra taxes, higher council tax if you have a second home there. So there's a lot of people trying to sell in the southwest on an annual basis. They're saying it is up marginally, but more recent house prices are down in the southwest. Annually, 0.5% up. London's not a very strong market either at the moment. Central London's been hit very hard. Annually, the whole of the Greater London area is 0.6% up. So both those areas there, if you take into account for inflation, they're actually down. And so affordability has improved somewhat in those areas. A few other areas that they've given us some data for. So the Northwest, let's put it up here. So the Northwest is beating inflation. It's been strong for a few years, the Northwest now, 4.4%, which is good. So that's been great. What else have we got? We've got Scotland. How's it going up there? Well, Scotland's been strong as well, 4.9% up in Scotland. Wales, that is also up above inflation, 3.9%. It was a couple of years ago that Wales was down significantly, so that's rebounded now, which is good, and hopefully anyone that went into negative equity there maybe has clawed that back out, which will be very, very positive. And the best performing place in the whole of the UK at the moment is Northern Ireland. We've talked about this a few times. 9.6% increase in Northern Ireland. I think some of that's down to some big government contracts that have gone in there for defence. You can tell me in the comments if you know any other reason why particularly Northern Ireland has been very strong. But I think they also did have a drop like Wales a couple of years ago, I can recall. So what are Halifax saying longer term? Well, they said that the market is fairly robust at the moment. It hasn't broken up or down really for a year. And they're putting that down to fairly strong wage growth. That's been talked about by the Bank of England a number of times. So that's helped. Interest rates coming down. We're starting to see that over the last year. It was about a year ago, it was August last year, that the rates started their downward trend. And that has helped keep the market moving along. The stamp duty holiday as well, that got a lot of transactions done in the first quarter. And their expectations are that in the next 6 months, the rest of this year, while transactions will be down, so they won't be massively busy, that house prices will start to creep up again based off the fact that we've got expectations that interest rates are going to go down in August and potentially another time this year as well. So interesting data from the Halifax. It's a bit more positive than the nationwide building society data that we had last week. But yeah, all in all, they're saying it's a fairly stable market at the moment. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. And a quick plug, if you haven't grabbed the fundamentals of property investing, now's a great time to really understand how to be a property investor, how to find properties below market value, how to refurbish those properties and add value to those, how to then maximize your returns. I'm talking how to get high cash flow yields here, talking about HMO, service accommodation, and stuff like that. We've got it on flash sale at the moment for the fixed price, one-time price of £20. So go and grab that while you're here in the description. Do grab a copy of that. A few hundred of you grabbed that this weekend, so thank you to everybody that did grab a copy. Also, while you're here, do smash like and subscribe and check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.